And so first of all, we need to define what a sequence is. A sequence is just a set of numbers called terms. That's all it is, list of numbers. Okay? An arithmetic sequence, on the other hand, states that the difference between successive terms is the same. So that would just mean like the difference between the terms is going to be the same. Okay? We call that difference the common difference. And so 2 examples of arithmetic sequences are listed below. We have 3, 5, 7, and 9. What would be the difference between terms here on 3, 5, 7, and 9? 2. You're adding 2 every time. That's an arithmetic sequence. You add the same number every time. Or, let's look at this one. What's the difference here with 2, 0, negative 2, negative 4? You're subtracting 2, so your difference would be negative 2. So an arithmetic sequence basically means you add or subtract the same number every time. Okay? You add or subtract the same number every time. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and look at this. And this is probably the easiest way to do that. Okay? What do you do here from 9 to 6? You subtract 3. So I'm just going to write minus 3. What do you do from 6 to 3? Subtract 3. What do you do from 3 to 0? Subtract 3. Are those the same? If those are all the same, it is an arithmetic sequence. If just one of them's different, it's not. Okay. So with that in mind, I want you to evaluate this sequence. Is that an arithmetic sequence? Yes or no? Nice job. 100%. Woohoo. So now tell me, why is this not an arithmetic sequence?
Because you subtract 2 and then subtract 1 and then subtract 2.
Right, you subtract 2 here, and then you subtract 1, so that automatically ends it right there. Okay, you can't switch. If you start by subtracting 2, you got to subtract 2 every time. Okay, what about this one? Is that an arithmetic sequence, yes or no? Yes, nice job. What are you doing every time on that one? You're adding 5. Okay, so that's how you identify if it's an arithmetic sequence or not. Ooh, here you go. Is this one an arithmetic sequence? Okay, it is not an arithmetic sequence. Now, if you have a problem like this, the best rule of thumb is to convert the fractions to the same denominator. And in this case, I have 2, 8, 4, and 16. So a good denominator would be 16. Okay, so 16, what do you do to 2 to get 16? Times 8. So I'm going to take 1 times 8. So 1/2 is 8/16. Okay. What about 5/8? How many 16ths would that be? 10/16. Good job. What about 3/4? How many 16ths is that? 12/16. And then 13/16. So how many 16ths are you adding in the first bunch here? 2. How many in the next one? 2, so we're still good. What about that last one? 1, so that makes it not work. So that is not an arithmetic sequence. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this next one. This next one says find the next 3 terms. So this is something that you've probably seen before, okay? Only you might have had them done like this when you had like worksheets, when you were in kind of elementary school or even in middle school. And they would say fill in the next 3 blanks. Okay. So if they tell you it's an arithmetic sequence, that's the key. They say it is, so that means you're going to add or subtract the same number every time. So what do you do to 15 to get 9? Subtract 6. So that means every time you're going to subtract 6. So if I subtract 6 right here, so if I take negative 3 minus 6, what do you get? Negative 9. So now I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to take negative 9 and I'm going to subtract 6. Negative 15. And then I'm going to take negative 15 and I'm going to subtract 6. And what do you get? Negative 21. So that's what you're going to do. You add or subtract the same number every time. So with that in mind, I want you to find the next term of the arithmetic sequence that I have up there on the board. Find the next term. $14. Nice job. What are you doing every time on that one? Adding 4. Good job. All right, here we go. Got some decimals. Okay, answer is 0.2. Okay, what you're doing every time is you're subtracting what? 1.2. So do you have to subtract 1.2 from everyone? No. You find the first one, then I go over here and I subtract 1.2. So if you take 1.4 minus 1.2, your answer should be 0.2. All right, let's go ahead and write this equation down. This is an equation for the nth term of an arithmetic sequence. So this is actually how you find, okay, the nth term. I'll let you get that down and then we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll look at a few problems. Okay, a sub n means the nth term, so that final term. Okay, a sub 1 is your first term, so that's what you start with. That's the first term that's listed in your sequence. Okay, n minus 1. N is just the number of the term you're trying to find. And d is your common difference, and we've already looked at the common difference. So let's go ahead and look at an example here. It says, write an equation for the nth term of the arithmetic sequence. So here's my formula. So all I'm going to have you do is we're just going to plug in what we know. Okay? Now, when it says write an equation for the nth term, that means that you leave a sub n alone. Okay? That's what you're trying to find the equation for. Now, this says a sub 1. What would a sub 1 be up here? Negative 12, because that's your first term, right? So I have negative 12. Plus, we leave the n minus 1 in there, and then now I've got to find the difference between terms. So what do I do from negative 12 to get negative 8? What do you do? So if that kind of confuses you, let's move to one of the other ones. You're adding 4 every time. So that would be d is 4. And there you go. That's it. That's all you have to do. Okay, pretty straightforward. Let's look at another one. Okay, write an equation for the nth term. So I have a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. Somebody tell me what will go first. 3. Nice job. Plus n minus 1. What's d going to be here, folks?
13.
What's d going to be? What do I do? Negative 13. Good job. Okay, it's a negative because you subtract. So notice how I put the negative in parentheses. Okay, you're going to want to do that because otherwise some people would think that's minus 13. So make sure that you put that negative 13 in parentheses. Okay? Last one we're going to look at. Now this one has decimals, so that means remember our answer can have decimals. Somebody tell me what I'm going to have? Negative 1, nice job, plus n minus 1 times positive what?
0.5.
Positive 0.5, yep. And there you go. Okay, pretty straightforward. All right, this is your assignment from that section. Page 193, 8 through 21. Now you have time now to get this done. Okay, so please use it wisely. If you have questions, please make sure that you ask. I'll be glad to help you.